Bitcoin is still hovering at $107,000, ladies and gentlemen. There's a couple things that I want to talk about in today's video. Also go over how you guys can get some free Bitcoin. We'll get more into that later. Now, Bitcoin, guys, 107,250, right? Pretty nuts considering everything that's been going on this past month. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a pretty shit month for crypto in the sense of not that much things that are new. It's just like whatever. It's like, it is what it is, right? So let's go over Bitcoin in its entirety, talk about what is going on. So this whole week, guys, has been pretty slow and stagnant, although we did see, the crazy drop to like 98. However, we pretty much recovered instantly, and we've just been uptrending since then. Today as well, just stagnant. The past month as well has been pretty volatile, especially for Bitcoin at these levels. We saw 108, then we saw, what was it, like 101, then we saw 109, then we saw like 103, then we saw 108, well, what is this, 8 again, then we saw 90. It's just been crazy, right? Now, this whole year for Bitcoin, however, has still been pretty bullish. Crazy to think that Bitcoin's currently up 78%. A year ago today, Bitcoin was at $61,000. Holy freaking smokes. Now, let's talk about a couple things. First of all, President Trump says Bitcoin is amazing and a great thing for our country, okay? It looks like Saylor is still freaking loving Bitcoin, tweeting about it, talking about it. He did a whole thing at BTC Prague, which is pretty cool as well. And overall, he's still just bull posting Bitcoin, right? Talking about how Bitcoin's just the best, basic math. It's simple. The winning strategy is Bitcoin, right? Comparing it to all other stocks and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sold on MicroStrategy stock. Maybe I should be. Let me know in the comments down below. He also tweeted, I thought this was pretty cool, take Compound B, I guess referring to The Boys, which I recently finished. Pretty good show. If you guys watched it, let me know in the comments down below. I think it's pretty cool. A nice little Compound V injection, right? Compound B injection. But let's talk about this real quick. So the BTC Bull Memecoin, guys, is going to be launching in literally 2 days. They've raised over $7.5 million, which is pretty cool to see. Now, the reason that I'm talking about them right now, guys, is because you can earn free Bitcoin airdrops by just holding this Memecoin, right? So every time Bitcoin hits a milestone, 100K, 125K, 150K, 175K, 200K, etc., there is a milestone, right? So for 125K, they'll do a token airdrop. For 150K, which could happen this year, they'll do a BTC airdrop, okay? So you pretty much get free Bitcoin for just holding this Memecoin. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting, and it just works. Okay, now, this tweet was pretty interesting. I can't say this with enough urgency. You need to buy Bitcoin to serve your kids' future, right? So a modest 3% inflation, which, let's be real, guys, it's not 3%, it's much more than that. Your purchasing power is destroyed by around 60% over 30 years, which is insane. But they tell you 3% inflation is stability. They tell you this is healthy, but there is no other way to secure your future other than buying Bitcoin, right? So we could see, at 3 years inflation over 30 years. So in year 0, right, to start, it's 100,000. In year 5, it's worth 85,000, right? We can round up to 86. In year 10, it rounds up to 74. In year 15, we round up to 60, or we round down to 63, right? Year 20, you've pretty much, chopped it down in half, which is insane. So in 20, because, people always say, oh, like 20 years ago, you could get groceries for $20, right? I mean, it's true. It's simple math. It just makes sense, right? And again, fun fact, today, 10 years ago today, Bitcoin was $250. Holy smokes. If I could buy Bitcoin for $250 10 years ago, I was what, 14 years old. I was just a young lad. I didn't know anything about Bitcoin. I didn't know about money. I was just focused on, going to high school, I think. Yeah, 14. I was focused on going to high school. Pretty insane. Now, guys, that is it for today's video. Again, guys, I'll leave a link to BTC Bull down below for anyone that wants to go ahead and buy some of this Memecoin. High risk, high reward. It's very simple. I'll leave a link down below. Just click buy with crypto. Go ahead and cop some. But guys, that is going to be it for today. If you guys did enjoy, I will leave a like. Leave a like down below, subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.